Hello. So it occurred to me that I told you I would show you how I knit, and I never did. And, well, now it's not exactly as good a time as any, but now's when I'm going to do it. You know this well. This is the blanket of many, many squares. I have finished one quadrant, and I'm 60% through with this quadrant. And I'm at the point where I have to start a new square. For each quadrant of blanket, there are 4 types of squares. There's the starting square, which is the only one where you actually knit both edges, where they're independently knitted. I've never figured that one out. Then there's the left column of 4 additional squares. So these 4 squares where you pick up stitches from the square below and then knit an additional 24 stitches. Then there are the bottom squares where you knit 25 stitches across the bottom and pick up 24 stitches across the top. I may have the numbers reversed on that. And then there are the inside squares where you don't get to knit any stitches at all. You're picking up all 49 stitches. So I think the directions actually say you should work like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I find it easier to knit in columns because you change yarn less frequently, and therefore you have fewer loose ends to weave in. So I am getting ready. Speaking of loose ends, yeah, I was trying to do this by column and kind of got derailed by life, and so those will just have to wait for a minute or two. So the first thing I have to do is, this is a bottom square, so I have to cast on 24 stitches. So I make a slip knot, handy dandy needle. Only need one side of it for this. Okay, so not too tight, not too loose. And two stitches. 3, so it's 4. If I have to think about it, I can't do it. So it's around the thumb, over the, yeah. 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. If you ever see a knitter or crocheter staring intently at their project and moving stitches around, they might as well be wearing a sign saying, shut up, leave me alone, I'm knitting. Or counting, I'm sorry. Yeah, leave me alone, I'm counting. I was at 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, I believe. 5, 10, 15, whoa, 20, 24. Okay. Now, I used too much yarn for my cast on. It's gonna get in my way, so there. Whoops. Oh well. So now, the really annoying part is I have to pick up stitches along this edge. see if I can do this without getting my head in the frame. Actually, this works out well. So I want to go into the top loop of each stitch. Whoa! And fling my yarn across the row. Top loop of each stitch. I need to make sure that one, I am not continuing with my cast on yarn or long tail yarn. Many times I've done that. Two, I need to make sure that this stitch and that stitch are really good friends. So I go to the next stitch. That's 2, and I can fix the friendship part on this side. Yeah, I said that. Go away. I remember there was a yarn blogger, like the original yarn blogger, named Stephanie Pearl McPhee. I think I've told you about her before. And she, yarnharlot.ca, I think. And she was talking about picking up stitches once and how she always finds it disturbing to pick up stitches because, you know, it's this whole different change in fabric and it's just this one stitch holding it together. And then she said, but wait, pretty much all of knitting is one stitch holding it together next to the next, or to the next stitch. So stop freaking out about it. And that is why I stopped freaking out. You know, how I learned to love the bomb? No. That is how I learned to stop freaking out about picking up stitches. So this is actually pick up and knit. Sometime, so you see how I'm passing, that was red, so green. I'm actually passing yarn through the stitch, so I'm actually knitting it. Sometimes you just pick up the stitch and keep going like that. And it's really easy, but then it's not as stable as when you actually knit it, and it gives you a whole different feel when you come back to the other side. No Val Kilmer here. No, Jim Morrison. I know. In my head, he looks like Val Kilmer, though. My head is a weird place. You know this. Okay, I'm sorry. This is... I have to get all the way down here. So this is taking a bit longer than I thought it would. Maybe I'll edit it out. But then my babbling won't make sense. Because it makes sense now, right? How do you like the camera? This was a Kickstarter thing. It's always Christmas when you work on buy things on Kickstarter. I did this back when I lived in Seattle. And I got it specifically so I could do this and show you my knitting. Yeah, I know, I'm an idiot, but I'm an idiot who likes you. So, we're almost there. Not far now. Do you know what that's from? Were you not a big Smurfs fan as a kid? I guess for you it'd be as a teenager. But probably not, huh? So always whenever they were trekking through the forest and one of the Smurfs would go, "How much longer, Papa Smurf?" And his answer would always be, "Not for now." I remember my dad once said, "When your mom stops complaining." And I said, "But we're never going to get there." So, counting. I had 24 on this side, right? 5, 10. I get dizzy if I look at the screen. 15, 20. So, switching over. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 48. That was green, which means this one needs to be red, which is going to be very difficult. It should have been 25 on the other side. Okay. Not that it matters. A little bit of flexibility, all things can be fixed. Says the least flexible person in the world. I will take you to choose which meaning of that I meant. Okay. Come on. One moment, please. Where did it go? Oh, dude, come here. Yes, it had to be that exact one. Shush. This is when all else fails, cheat. I can't get the stitch to come through, so I'm going to do the stitch off of the needle and then put it on the needle. Haha. And put that somewhere I can find it, which means I will never ever see it again, because I put its predecessor somewhere I could find it. Okay, so now we turn our work, and this is the back, which is almost the same but not quite. Oops, don't twist the stitch. Okay, now we have 49 stitches. We talked about this the other day. I think you said it was the work of an afternoon for you. It's not the work of an afternoon for you. You just need to learn it. I always cast on too tight. And I just realized I'm talking to a fisherman about casting on. Yeah. And so I have to work to correct it on the return row. Stop that. So we'll still have 49 stitches when we get across to the other side. I really need to stop saying other side because I'm going to have the doors stuck in my head all day. How is my speech? You know, considering I don't have any upper teeth right now. Phantom tooth syndrome is a real thing, I swear to you. I have had major tooth pain where I don't have actual teeth. So where the two pieces joined, the cast on and the picked up, was trying to be loose. Shut up. So I was fixing it there. Uh-oh, I think I lost a stitch. 5, 6, 10, 15, 20, 24. Nope. That doesn't feel right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 32, 35, 40, 45. Okay. I think I was distracted, and so for once I cast on too loosely. Shut up. We're almost there. So for each stitch, it's super simple. It's we're knitting, so you put the needle in from the front to the back with your yarn in back. So needle front to back, yarn in back, then just scoop up the yarn with your needle and pull it back through. Then push the stitch off the needle. So yarn from front to back, pick up yarn, sorry, words are important. Needle from front to back of the stitch, pick up the yarn, pull it through your stitch, pull the stitch off the needles, front, back, off the needle. And then you do that hundreds and hundreds of times and you'll be comfortable with it. And be able to fix things like that when you screw up. That's called splitting, when you only go through, like this is 4-ply yarn and I only went through 1 ply, and then you end up with the only, like, 1/4 of the yarn on your needle. Okay, so I need the dark green next. Chances I can actually lay my hands on it. Holy crap. Okay. So now we're going to be working with 2 colors of yarn at once. This I have labeled J, and I've also masking taped the yarn shut because Knit Picks ball bands are really kind of flimsy. This one's been through hell and back. And yes, ball bands, shush. Okay, now, so we make sure that is tucked away. We take our new color, and it works exactly the same way. So put your needle through the yarn, make sure it's nice and taut. Whenever I hear the word taut, I think of a certain MASH episode. I don't know if you do, but it wouldn't surprise me if you did. Then we loop new yarn on, more gracefully than that generally. And then we just start knitting with the new yarn. And this way we're going to knit 23 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, I think in multiples of 5. I know that is probably not surprising to you. A lot of people, when they knit, think in multiples of 2 or 4. I kind of get 2, but 4 has always flummoxed me. One, 2, 3. Now you're a woodworker, so you know all about miters. And that's all this is a whole bunch of mitered quarters and yarn. And to do that, we slip the next 2 stitches over to the next needle as if we've knit them, but we haven't. Then we knit the stitch after that. Then we pass the 2 stitches that we didn't knit back over that stitch. So we've taken 3 stitches, the 2 that we slipped and the 1 that we knit, and reduced it to 1 stitch. So we started with 49 stitches on this row, and when we finish it, we're going to have 47 because we decreased the number by 2. So basically, you keep doing this. Every other row, you change colors and decrease by 2 on every right side row. Most knitting has a right side and a wrong side. This one, obviously, this side is the right side. This side, not just because all the loose ends are there. This side is the wrong side because the pattern's not as pretty, right? So, and that side's the right side. So let me finish this row because I don't like putting down live stitches like that. Live stitch is a stitch that's ready to be knit, as opposed to, say, cast off stitches or all the stitches that I picked up. Before I picked them up, they were not live stitches. Once I picked them up, they were. I can resurrect stitches. Ow. So there are 10 colors involved in this thing. This is the first quadrant that I knit. This one is kind of fun because there are, as you go across, sorry, focus. As you go across, there are squares that are all one color. The next quadrant I do should have the same thing, but with the reds and pinks. And then the fourth quadrant is the this one, but with the colors inverted. And then I get to sew it all together because I'm just a glutton for punishment. Or actually what will probably happen is I will end up putting all of these in a closet somewhere for many years and kind of forget about them, and then moths will find them and yeah, because that's who I am. That's a stupid way to fold that. Okay. So I have shown you some of my knitting. If you are interested, I can show you different knitting when I have different knitting to show you. I suspect I'm going to be making a bunch of I-cord very soon. And I think I have a cables project on the needles somewhere that I wanted to finish. And if you haven't figured it out, I'm doing this because I like talking to you, and I kind of want to show you what I do sometimes, since you've shown me some of your stuff. So I thank you for your time, dear man. What do you think? Could I do a video podcast? Watch Mary knit? Preferably without showing you my thigh the whole time. I'm sorry. Not like you haven't seen more, but yeah, inappropriate right now. Hey, I have a blanket. I didn't mean to do that. I just looked up at the screen and saw it. I'm sorry. Please believe me. Yeah. Anyway, I will let you go if you can watch this. Have a good day.